Did you ever wonder what it would be like if you took Jumanji and made it into a horror movie? That is exactly what Beyond the Gates is. The movie takes place in current times, but thanks to the VHS shop and the synth soundtrack, it's got a very 80s vibe to it. It's about two estranged brothers who come home after their father's disappearance. The father owned and ran this mom-and-pop VHS shop, and they go there because the father's been missing for months now, and they have to clean the place out. While they're in there, they find a VCR board game called Beyond the Gates. If you don't know what a VCR board game is, they were pretty popular in the 80s and 90s. The biggest one was called Nightmare. What it was, you would have a board, like a regular board game with tokens and all that stuff, and there would be a VHS tape. And you would play the tape, and you would have what was called a harbinger. They were the gatekeepers that would engage you to push things along. There were 6 different ones. There was a werewolf and a poltergeist and a mummy, zombie, witch, vampire. And it was really interesting. It was cool. It was neat. We don't really have anything like that now. And it's something that would be kind of cool to bring back. But I digress. Anyway, within this, the brothers find the board game locked in their father's office, and they bring it back to his house, and they decide this was something that their dad had been doing before he went missing. Let's play the game and check it out. Oh, and the one brother, he brought his girlfriend along with them. So it's the 3 of them. They decide that they're going to start playing the game. The harbinger for Beyond the Gates is played by the lovely Barbara Crampton, and it was neat to see her playing a somewhat evil character. I thought she did a terrific job in it. Like Jumanji, as they play the game, stuff starts happening in reality, and they have to investigate real locations and do things in reality that has an effect on the game. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought that even though the concept was more or less borrowed, it still worked really well, and it felt different. It wasn't just the exact thing as Jumanji. Granted, they couldn't afford the effects and all that stuff from Jumanji, so things were kind of scaled down, but there was a lot of interesting things that were happening within the movie, and a lot of turns and things that I wasn't quite expecting, and a few genuinely good scares. The 2 brothers and the girlfriend played off each other very well. I thought that they were all terrific. I thought they did a great job. And I liked the camaraderie they had between them, where they were all talking about their past. They actually took some time to do some character development, which was interesting. And I liked it because it gave a little bit more insight as to the one brother's insecurities and the other brother who's been kind of in and out of trouble over the years, the girlfriend kind of being the median between them. I thought it was nice because it made you understand a little bit more about the brothers instead of just, oh, bad stuff's happening, who cares, who's going to get killed. The music was good too. It definitely had a very 80s vibe to it, which was totally intentional, I'm sure. Oh, and of course, as I already said, Barbara Crampton just nailed it. The only downside is that at times you really could tell that they weren't working with the biggest budget. There were only a couple of scenes where you could tell that they wanted to do more, but they just couldn't within what they had. And it stuck out a little bit, but it didn't go on long enough to really ruin anything. It was just something that I noticed, and then they were able to move forward with the movie. And they managed to pull me back in with the story and make me forget about the fact that maybe that segment wasn't as good as it could have been. Beyond the Gates is a very entertaining, unique, low-budget horror film. It's got a neat idea, a very likable cast, and the people that worked on it, you could tell that this was a big-time labor of love. I don't know if maybe they grew up playing the Nightmare games, which were called Atmosphere, I think, in the UK, and they wanted to do their homage to it, but it just had so much sincerity and was really enjoyable. I would love it if they were able to do another one of these.